sending it in. Straight up in the air from Shabilko. Blake in a lot of traffic. Flapping at it. Blessing. It was blocked. Segura.
All right, a little bit longer intro today. This is Celso Oliveira, section 128. I'm here with Eric Holtram. I'm going to go ahead and say it earlier so we don't have to say it anymore. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. 3 out of 4 of you do not subscribe to our channel, and yet you watch the first 10, 15 minutes of it. So please help us out with that. It really tremendously helps our cause. But today, as you saw on our intro, this show is all about Steady Eddie Segura, the leader in minutes and caps for LAFC. The guy's been here since day one. I go to you, Eric. It's your time to say everything you want to say about this man. He's always got a smile in his face. And yesterday, with our League's Cup hopes on the line on the, 80th minutes or something like that, he scores a beautiful goal to give us the lead and the game. Eric, how you feeling, my man? Talk to me about Addy. Talk to me about League's Cup.
One, it was a little melodramatic there. It was not the 80th minute. It was the 91st minute.
Excuse me, you're right. My bad.
Match. Right. It was basically like the last play of the game. So, yeah, Steady Eddie, what a redemption arc. He has been up and down from his horrifying injury that he had. You know, we go back, I mean, for those of you who haven't been with us from the beginning, you know, Steady Eddie is an original 2018 roster guy from the inaugural season. I can pull my hat with all the signatures and show you his signature on it. And he had a pretty solid 2018 season, you know, along with Laurent Simon, our first captain other than Villa. Yep. And then Simon left in 2018, so it became Eddie Segura and Walker Zimmerman in 2019, which was a near record-breaking season. And got us all the way there. He was practically a best 11 defender with Walker Zimmerman. And then he blew his ACL. And his ACL was out for a year. He got a cleanup surgery that went bad. He basically missed almost 2.5 years from a knee injury and a very long, slow recovery coming back. We wondered if he would ever be the same player he was before. But he looks like he's kind of coming back into that guy. You know, there's a lot of grumbling from the fans. You know, it's time to move on from him. Is it time to do whatever? But he's always kind of stayed there. The team really did him a solid. There was a period where I think he was with LAFC with no contract for like 6 months or so, that he was just kind of training. They didn't know what to do with him, and they brought him back on board and basically keeps us in the hunt of this tournament, which is, you know, it's still a long shot, which we'll get to, but nonetheless, if we finish this with 8 points, which is what we should out of a possible 9, it's not a bad showing. Unfortunate the format is so fucked up on this tournament that 8 points is probably not going to get us through.
Yeah, let's stay with this game first because, you know, Eddie Segura comes in as a containment weapon, and we talked about, you know, like he's kind of a Swiss Army knife, and then John Thornton loved these guys. So I think he's going to be here for a while because the dude can literally play 3-4 positions. He can probably play up front if you asked him. And Eric, so we always known him as the center back, and he's excellent over the air. His stats have been good. Some of the first graphs I've done in stats about LAFC has been about this man, but you know, we were always kind of like, can he play the 6? You know, could he play a fullback role, like, right, which we saw a little bit earlier on. So your thoughts of him coming in, containing Helinho, one of their best players, really frustrating Toluca as a whole, right? And then finding the goal because he was in that primordial position of the 6, being on top of the box and being able to have that good shot. So let's talk about not only the fact that he was there to score, but he also did what he was supposed to do, which is the defensive clinic, right? He was excellent defensively for LAFC and played the six in a way that you're wondering, man, what is going to happen when we have Igor Jesus back?
Well, I think he kind of went in on the left-hand side because Sheberko was getting abused by Helinho all game. And it was all the way to the 50th, 60th minute. It looked like problems. It looked like if we were going to give up a goal, it was going to come on that side. And Eddie came in and basically locked down that position. He locked down Helinho. He was no longer a threat the entire game. And I just think towards the end, he kind of just pushed himself into that spot in the field just because trying to find a place where there was space to operate, and he found himself on top of the box. And man, what a curling golazo he had. It's not something we've ever really seen out of him. I think those were basically his 2 goals that he scored with LAFC in the video, right?
Yeah, dude. And like, if you look at the recap too, because I wanted to put that video in there. Well, now I'm glad you brought it up because I wanted to put that video in there just to show everyone, maybe you haven't followed LAFC, that this dude has been clutch for us for a long time. And when things get crazy, when things get heated up, like it did at the end of the El Tráfico, there he was, dude, like giving it to Diego Fagundes, probably one of the scummiest Galaxy players there have been. And then he was like, you know what? I'm just going to just grab you by the throat, honey. And we're just going to talk right here. So not only he can be your Scottie Pippen, right? This guy that is helping you in many ways, but I said on Twitter, he could be Dennis Rodman too, bro, and like just beat you up because he's got some aggressiveness to him. And yet the nicest guy, always acknowledges the media, always smiles, and always says hi to you. That's Eddie Segura, and you see that on the field. I understand why LAFC gave him a freebie and say, hey, just stick around, man. I want you to get better because he's a guy that should be and will be here for a long time. Hey, let's talk because he came in as a sub with Porteous, particularly like you said, that side was getting a little bit abused. So from a game standpoint, right, I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. I thought it was going to be a 1-0 game. I called this one, so we're 1-1 now, buddy. We should keep tabs on where we got this scoring right because I got the scoring right. But I really thought it was going to be tough to score on them. But I'm really impressed with our defense and what we've been doing with these tough teams. So talk to me about the first half. Walk me through what you saw there from Marc Dos Santos, from the starting lineup. What did you see that was essentially different from when we just got our asses kicked by that very same team in CCL?
Yeah, we definitely grew into this game. I think the stat in the first 10 or 15 minutes into the game, the possession was like 72%, 72% Toluca, and then it was like 28% for us. And by halftime, that had kind of switched to like a 60-40. And by the second half, it was like 52-48. So to me, this was a game where we really started to struggle at the beginning. We started to get some good counterattacking moments. I think Bouanga probably could have had 1 or 2 goals, but the chances just didn't get quite finished. Martinez, one of the worst games I've seen out of him. He kept getting the ball mixed up in his feet and losing it. It looked like a tale of body snatchers. We looked like we had like a high school kid playing there instead of David Martinez. So, whatever that was is what it was. So we had some kind of down performances from some guys. It was kind of an ugly game. And so we just, didn't know where it would come from. So we kind of grew into the game. By the second half, we started looking like we were more threatening, had advantage. I thought they were very good subs. When the substitutes came in, we really started taking a hold of the game. I thought those were positive. And at the end, we were kind of able to smash and grab this one and steal those 3 points because I'm not sure if we really deserved those 3 points if you want to step back and look at the game, but there's games where we deserve points and didn't get them. So
yeah, I think that comes and goes. And deserving is not a word I associate with the game of football. So, it is what it is. And the goal itself, right? The goal itself happened because of a cross from Schaffelberg, the crossing machine. Of course, he beats this man, great run off the side, really leaves everybody behind and perfects a really good corner, which was intercepted and defended well, right? But you don't defend across well if you're going to put it in that spot, right? The sweet spot. Everyone is waiting for that shot. And there we go. Everyone is happy for Eddie. Mendo is really happy for Eddie because I agree. Everyone's beating this motherfucker up. And yeah, he's been asked to do everything for us and almost like work for free, and he's done it. So I'm good with it. Eddie is, again, a stand-up guy and had his night. Loris, however, was back in the lineup. I didn't know if he was going to play it or not. I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be a Hassal Cup. And Hassal for giving us all will give us another chance. But no, we saw Hugo Loris there. Great save from him and Helinho. Helinho, very good player, one of the most expensive Toluca players, I believe, ever to sign, dude. But let's talk about Loris and the fact that once again he was there for us in the first half, even though we were not stellar, right? Still to keep that game at 0-0, Eric.
Yeah, I believe that's clean sheet number 11 for him this season.
Unbelievable, man. What a year.
Yeah. And there's more games to go, you know. I think Loris has a good chance of probably clearing 15 on clean sheets, maybe even higher than that. I mean, what a season he's had. It will be a shame if this is his last season. He's at such a high level. And it's not only the shots that he stops, it's how well the back line stays organized when he's on the field, even up to the midfield and the six. He really commands the defensive part of the field. And I think really a lot of it's you see a team effort, and you see every defender that we have on our team, when they're on that back line, they play better than they do anywhere else that they have played. So I think a lot of that is to Loris. Loris is quickly becoming a legend in my mind for this club. So
absolutely. I was going to say, definitely best goalkeeper we've ever had. I mean, I know it's a big statement, but it's getting to that point. And, you know, his leadership, his demeanor, the way he conducts himself, and you forget that he was essentially a World Cup winner and had this unbelievable resume, right? Was there in the World Cup of 2022, in a penalty decision against Messi, almost took that one home. So it's crazy to see him there given it's all fully acclimated to LA too. I always see his family there. Another great example of people that are just happy being around the stadium, right? So it's good to see that they're kind of nursing and being part of our LAFC culture. Totally a legend, bro. Man. Totally a legend. I don't like jerseys, like goalkeeper jerseys. I just don't like them. But that would be an unbelievable number to own, right? Like, even if I put it on a regular kit, because I just love the guy so much. And you know what? Why not? I'm just going to throw it on a black jersey and put Loris in the back because he's my guy. And I just don't want to wear purple. Sorry, guys. It's not for me. Yellow. Not for me.
I would say he's got to be
he's unbelievable.
I would say he's got to be easily the best-selling goalkeeper kit. But I know after 2022, so many people went out and bought McCarthy kits that it was ridiculous. But
I know that because he was the man. He was the man. And shout out to this man more than anyone. Mark Dos Santos, another win. The guy's pure class. I mean, their coach, was coming out, just making all these hand gestures for based on the game that we lost to them. Just lack of class all the time. I'm not a big fan of Turco Mohammed. He looks like he's been drinking on the job. So he's fat and nasty. I mean, look at this man. Look at those muscles. Look at that shirt tucked in. And I just think that the fact that he got Eddie in a moment that he felt, things are wrong. Helinho is just coming. They cannot stop, and Chaburco is dead. And suddenly he changes the composure by bringing Portillo's in. So let's talk about League's Cup qualification, Matt. But before we do that, what a job he's done with this team after the World Cup. And I think the doubters really have to stop doubting at this point and appreciating the job that he's done. Mendo.
I mean,
he looks fat as hell, man. He looks like he was drinking yesterday.
I think this might be a little bit premature. I love what Dos Santos has done, but he still needs to give us something more,
But that would be a trophy.
Props in the summer.
We won the trophy.
I will give him props. For sure, he kind of readjusted in the break, and like I've said a couple times, he's kind of went back to a Dolo ball style, which needed to be done. And I think it takes a lot for coaches to kind of look and say what we're doing isn't working. Let's kind of go back to what did work, which was a bit of what he inherited. So that happened. But I will say his substitutions have been pretty solid. Hindsight 2020, I think he maybe could have taken Martinez off a little bit earlier in that game because Martinez just looked like a complete mess. But otherwise, he made the right moves. He got it done. He made the minutes happen as they did. We still have another game, so it's going to come down to what kind of lineup he's going to put on the field and how are we going to handle ourselves down the stretch. For me, it's the jury's out on Marc Dos Santos. Let's see if he finishes strong. He started how he started, but let's finish strong. Let's get ourselves into a good position, make a deep run at the cup. I mean, man, Marc Dos Santos gives us a cup championship. Everything will be forgotten.
Yeah, it would be cool to do it over Toluca. I don't know if we're going to see him again there. I think they're not going to qualify. I actually don't know what the Mexico side looks like. But taking an L like this and coming through, and then they're getting to the final, and we not, even though we beat them at home, would be just pathetic for Major League Soccer and everybody involved. And I hope that they ran some mathematical models, right? And the chances of MLS teams all tying with 9 points was very, very small. And then they would not do that for us, right? But Eric's been on the store since day one. This man, it's 5 minutes into the first game of LAFC. Hey, they're all going to end with 9 points, man. They're all going to end with, I was like, bro, let's watch the game. Like, no. 9 points. And you've been at the start. My point is that you've been kind of like smelling blood in the water with maybe the Mexican teams not showing their best form. Right. Yeah. And I'm being a little bit I'm trying to expand it, right? I'm trying to put you in the spot a little bit. But yeah, talk to me about how you feel about this tournament, because we all know how we feel about this tournament. But let's talk about the road to success here, because I think it's a little bit complicated now because we sit in 7th, even though we've been looking really good. But there's 6 other teams on top of us, right? I believe 7 other teams.
100%.
So,
100%.
Yeah. So how do we get out of this? And are we wasting our time by playing a full lineup against Querétaro, given that we have, essentially a very important game against San Diego on the weekend and a very reduced chance of making it? It doesn't even depend on us. So why put our best lineup out there since, again, we don't even have the greatest chance of making it. We have the weakest chance of making it of all the ones that could make it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a pathway to get there, but there's so many variables that are going to make it tough. And yeah, after the first round, I kind of just looked at it, and this is hopefully why some of you tune on, because I do get some takes, and I have called some things before anybody else who watches our league does. And this is one of them, in that very early on, I said, I think this is going to be this. There's going to be a team that gets 9 points and fails to qualify in this. Like we had basically 9 teams went through winning the first time. I looked at the rest of the schedule. I looked at how the Liga MX teams were playing, how, a lot of them aren't taking this tournament that seriously. And so it's going to be a tough haul. I think before I get into kind of the matchups and what this looks like, you'll have to give me a couple minutes on this also. We can kind of go back to when the Leagues Cup started. It was kind of a full 1 month long tournament. Obviously, we have the World Cup this year that shortened up the time frame for everything. But last season, too, they had the more abbreviated format. And so I think they took something that basically canceled everybody's calendars for a month, and they're trying to shorten this basically into 10 days with some other games happening, periodically as the league goes. But the results, I think, is just too condensed now. I think any tournament where a team goes undefeated in a group stage and still fails to qualify is a huge problem with the format, and I think it's kind of very unfair. As I said in the show a little bit ago, it looks like the draw and the schedule has a bigger impact on who goes on to this tournament than to actually the team's quality. We had a very tough group. We had to play Chivas USA, a good team, and then we had to play Toluca, another very good team. There's other teams in this that their lineup was like Atlas, Juarez, and Atalante. It's like they're just not in the same category. On top of that, some teams had to go to Mexico and play games, and other ones had all 3 games here. So it was a very, very uneven strength for a lot of MLS teams. And basically the strength you get in the draw is kind of what's dependent on whether you go through. So now we are sitting with 6 teams at 6 points with 1 game to go. Going through this,
name them all up for me, please.
Austin, Charlotte, Chicago, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Dallas. Now, some of them have tougher teams. Let's go through this first. All right,
Yeah, let's just go through the matchups real quick. I can bring them up
Columbus
as
plays
well.
Pumas tomorrow.
Okay, so that can be easily, let's just say win, non-win, right? Because if you just
easy win.
A non-win
Easy
means
win.
you
Easy win.
think Pumas will get smashed.
Pumas is sitting on 0 points. They have no chance of going through. Pumas is
probably already checked out of this tournament.
They're going to play their reserves
and
they're going to save their starters for league. That's going to be later in the week on the weekend. They have a league game in like 4 or 5 days. Like they're not even going to play their starters. They're resting. So, all right, that's that.
Okay.
Cincinnati plays Atlas. Atlas is also
horrible as well.
They're out of this tournament. They're going to be playing. They're going to be playing reserves. So Cincinnati's basically going to be playing the kids. Columbus is playing the kids. I see absolutely no way those teams aren't coming with 9 points. Next up, let's see. We got Charlotte playing Pachuca.
That's
Pachuca,
a good game.
Yes, but Pachuca is also sitting on 0 points right now with no hope to go through. So Pachuca is also going to be playing their backups so they can rest their starters for this weekend when it's a league game that will actually mean something for them. So
see, I wonder if the league will not allow that, but they probably don't have any pull, right?
About it? They've been playing their starters. They're just going to say, "Hey, we got to rotate." They're tired.
Sorry, we got to rotate our guys. Yeah, I think you're right. There's nothing you can do. Right. So these guys. These teams that you're talking about, this are getting in this not necessarily getting a pass, but we're getting an easier path. We're going to get playing against like unproven players and a lack of motivation. So then we get Chicago.
Now we get to Dallas and Toluca. Now Dallas is sitting on 6 points. Toluca is in 6th place on 3 points. There's 4 teams with 6 points already. The game is in Toluca. This is kind of borderline. I can see. Let's see. We have. I
can see them dropping points too.
Yeah, Juarez will have played, but a couple of teams ahead of them will not have played yet. So
I don't think Dallas goes into Toluca and beats them. There's altitude. There's heat. It's going to be hot. I think that's a very hard game, and Dallas ends up kind of losing that game. So I still think there's a lot of things that need to happen for us to jump everybody.
Yeah, no, I think that's a game where Toluca would win. It is also a game where maybe Dallas pulls out a draw and maybe they win in penalties. We have to also look at these 6 games and say, what happens if there's a draw and there's penalty kicks now? We're tied. We'll get to that.
Well, Columbus, I believe, plays today. Isn't that right?
Tomorrow at 6:30. Tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Pacific.
No games today. Is this correct?
No games today. Today.
So today's like an off day, but they're gonna open it up. So that's the thing too. Like we're gonna put a lineup up there that it likely could be different based on these results already from tomorrow, right?
So basically, we have 3 games that are. Man, they have to be almost like 90% locks for the MLS teams. So that's 3 spots basically occupied by 9 points.
Well, Eric, yesterday we basically could be out, right? Because if Columbus, Charlotte, and Cincinnati, all games happening at 8-11, all carry their games, they all go to 9. And those and those 3 are like locked in. And to your point, those 3 are like locked in to play tomorrow. And to your point, look at who are they playing in terms of seeding. Columbus, the 17th seed, is playing the 29th seed in Pumas. That's pretty low, right? Charlotte, the 12th seed, is playing Pachuca, the 20th seed, so very low seed as well. And then Cincy, the 6th seed, is playing the 32nd seed in Alice. So it's like the shittiest team in the whole tournament outside of Atlanta, you know what I mean? Which is kind of like a new team anyway. So,
and like I said,
those guys should all carry.
Those 3 MLS teams are playing for the win, and those 3 Liga MX teams are just playing to rest their starters for their league game where it'll actually mean something because they're effectively out of this tournament. So why are they going to waste starters and make them tired for the league game where they need? So this gets us to the more interesting 3 games. We have Dallas Toluca, like I said, that's the game that's a little more knife edge.
Okay.
And then on Thursday, 7:30 and 8 p.m. These are the 2 games to watch. We have Austin and Club America. Now,
those are both top of the table for each side.
Club America really, really is pretty much guaranteed to go through with a draw, but they're going to come out and play this game. So I think America is probably going to knock Austin out like full on, like it's going to be a loss.
Yeah. 6 you're out. So you got to keep winning.
Cruz Azul, Chicago. This is a very tough one to call. Of course, it's in Chicago. Lewandowski's there. You know, Berhalter has that team playing pretty good. So I think this is probably going to be a Chicago, and they're probably going to be the fourth team on 9 points to go through. There's a chance. I mean, Cruz Azul is good. I think it's a 60-40. Cruz Azul could beat them as well. And Cruz Azul is in third place, so they're playing for this tournament also. So this is a competitive game.
Yeah, no, I think they take a dub. I don't believe Chicago is that good. I think Chicago is still a team that needs to earn their stripes, and Cruz Azul is just going to be too much for them.
So
I don't know, man.
If somehow those go our way and we get a draw between Cruz Azul, Chicago, or Dallas and Toluca, which there may not be probable, but they're not far-fetched. Now this brings LAFC. One of our problems we have in this is we only have a +1 goal differential, which will be the tiebreaker. So now basically Dallas is sitting on a 3 goal differential. And if they're drawing, it's going to stay at 3. So we need to beat Querétaro by 3 goals. Otherwise, we are possibly looking at, well, Austin's a +5. So if they manage to draw, I don't think so. Let's skip them. Chicago +4 goal differential, which means we have to beat Querétaro by 4 points if they're the draw. So LAFC really needs to score three goals minimum in this game. They need to win by 3 or 4 to have a chance to go through on 8 points. So that's where I'm not sure what we're going to do. If MDS really wants to go through this tournament, he needs to put in attacking lineup and go for it. Querétaro, they're out of this tournament as well. Or Querétaro.
Querétaro. There's a thing in there. Sorry, man. I have to tell you, there's an accent. Sorry.
Querétaro.
Querétaro. Yes, you got it.
They're out of this tournament as well. They're going to be playing reserves. So this should be a huge mismatch. I would expect at least a 2-0 victory. If not a 3 or a 4-0 is realistic, even more than that. So
yeah,
we kind of got to smash them right now and hope for the best, which could happen. It's not an impossibility, but I think odds are a little against us.
Yeah, again, the tiebreakers. Goal differential is the first one. The second one will be greater number of wins in match regular time. The third one is greater number of goals scored. So, goals 4 and 4. Goals conceded against. And then fifth, fair play. So it'll be like cards and stuff. We had to go to that. Now, imagine if LAFC doesn't come in or go in because of a card situation. That would just be the ultimate embarrassment for this tournament if that's what it comes down to. But that's how it works, man. That's the fifth tiebreaker in there. If that all ties up, they have to draw. They have to draw a number from a box, believe it or not, and that would be the last way to tiebreak this competition, which I don't believe it's going to happen. But look, there's a path, like you said. It's very hard because we sit in 7th right now, but based on schedules alone, if one of the 3 or 4 teams that we saw, 3 teams off tomorrow, have a hard time, it dramatically increases our chances of going through, right? Because those are the ones that we're thinking should automatically make it through with 9 points. They all should be dubs. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. I don't know about you. You've played soccer before. You've played some sort of sport before. You don't really like to lose. So I don't believe that MLS is that good that can just casually go 3-0 against Liga MX teams that just don't feel that motivated. But again, do you want to get your ass kicked again by MLS? So maybe within these 3 games, there's some points to be lost. I'm not saying they're all going to be L's or they're all going to be draws, right? But maybe one of these 3 is a surprise for us, which makes our path a little bit easier on the next day. But all of that is good, it's nice and cool, but we still have to win our game. So let's talk about Querétaro a little bit because this is technically our easiest game of the 3, which likely means there's going to be some questions for MDS in terms of starting lineups. You got San Diego on the weekend, which we'll have another show to discuss after the Querétaro game, right? But that's for you, Eric, to discuss here with me. Who are you thinking should start this game? Do we go mixed lineup because you're already thinking weekend game and your chances are being small? But let's assume, all right, because we have to have some assumption here in Mark's head, because I guarantee it's an A-B. If every single one of these 3 teams goes through tomorrow, right? Let's assume they all go through tomorrow, or they're all 9 points, right? So there's really one opening for us, and there's all these other games going on, like you said. What is your starting lineup for this game on Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm going pretty much full on attacking here. Lloris in goal because we need a clean sheet, and Lloris gives us the best chance at a clean sheet. Back line is going to be Hollingshead, Long, Porteous, and I'm going to put Steady Eddie in the left, just because he's a hot hand. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Delgado at the 6. I think he's way better option than Tillman at the 6. I think Tillman's a little too loose with the ball. Plus, I want Tillman pressing higher up the field. So I'm going to go Tillman. And here's where I'm going to wrinkle. I'm going to start Jude Terry as a third midfielder in this game. I'm going to give him his shot. On the front three, it's going to be Bouanga, it's going to be Sonny, and it's going to be Schaffelberg with the rough game that Martinez had. But may put Martinez in at the beginning of the second half if we only have one goal or maybe even 2 goals by the halftime, because, again, we got to run this up. Now, will Marc Dos Santos see it this way? Will he play a rotated lineup because he's going to start to look at San Diego? I'm not sure. If his goal is going to be winning this by four goals, which I think pretty much will have to get done. The bright side of it, we will have games tomorrow played. And if those are all, we're going to assume.
Well, I was saying, we got to kind of like assume that they're all going to go through and then decide, who are you going to put out there, right? Because, you have a very small chance of going through. Like, so do you basically just rotate your lineup? And that's kind of where you're going.
No, you have to go for it because Toluca Dallas kicks off 30 minutes before we do. And the other two, America and Cruz Azul Chicago, they play Thursday, the day after us. So
you think if there's at least a small amount of chance, they still should go all out with the best lineup possible and not to worry about San Diego and risk the 3 points against San Diego then?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oof. You gotta win this game by 3 or 4 and give ourselves a chance. Here's the other thing. San Diego is not the same San Diego they were last year. They're missing a DP player. They're a little bit in shambles this year.
Yeah, but it's MLS, and you're going on the road fatigue. I think it's at home. My bad. It's at home. My bad. Yeah. I just got the email to go to the game. So I don't know, man.
Go for it.
I don't know. I think that just because it's an easy game, right? We don't want to underestimate. And I do believe 3 points in MLS are more important than barely making a tournament. Plus, I want to hear your lineup. Did you give me the full thing?
Yep.
Okay, so let me hear what you think the final score is going to be.
Marc Dos Santos, don't let me down. Put your foot in the throttle and run this. We're gonna pull the 4-0, and we're gonna have us all hate watching games on Thursday.
4-0. I love it, Eric. You're such a positive guy, and I mean, honestly, dude, find yourself some sort of 4-0 line and put $1 in it because they will probably pay a good dollar amount for you, and because it's a big score, and you never know. And you've been a hot hand on these scores, but it is a tall order. A team that has not scored at all in this tournament yet. 0 goals scored, 5 conceded. So you're onto something, dude. You never know. But I don't think it's going to be that big. My scoring prediction on this one, it's still a win. I think we win easily on this, but it's a sloppy win, and we're like, hey, what is this? Because a team that plays with nothing to lose actually plays recklessly offensively as well, will take more risks, which will lead to goals on their side, but it will not be enough because defensively, Querétaro is a mess and will be able to basically consume, and over 90 minutes will still be the better team. But I'm calling this a 4-2 game. Sloppy from LAFC, but still clear win because we're just that much better. 4-2. Now, my starting lineup, Eric. My starting line is going to be different. I'm going Thomas Hasal because I'm already thinking, okay, fuck, there's no chance we can do this here. And I'm introducing a mixed lineup, not fully out because, like I said, there is a chance, but it's a mixed lineup. Chiburko comes back. Tafari in the middle with Aaron Long as the captain. And on the right side, you have to go with the stash because that's really all we have. Like, there's really not anybody else. I would go on the middle. This is kind of Jude Terry starting material here. He really has to start. By the way, he's starting to get the confidence, dude, to ask for the ball. He's the guy that's always like getting involved and wanting to be involved. He's looking the part for us. I love what we're seeing out of him.
I like this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start Terry, because he's earned it, and there's a highly chance that this game is meaningless, and you have to put someone in that midfield to sit. In my opinion, should be Tillman. He's been playing hard, And I think with Terry in there, you could give Tillman the rest on this one. And again, I don't know what kind of depth we have in the midfield beyond these dudes. Who do you really want to put up there? Sonny might be a guy that I would sit for this one, and that's kind of when you would see, okay, he's clearly rotating the fucking lineup, and put Bobby C to start. Give Sonny the rest because you're likely not going to achieve what you want there. Schaffelberg on the right for sure, given that Martinez was looked tired or essentially needs to basically get a little bit of rest, and Schaffelberg seems to be more ready. You can even see a Tyler Boyd coming in for Denis, but Denis doesn't like to sit games. So any hybrid lineups usually happen with Denis on the field, but Tyler Boyd could be up for it if things just look completely out of reach for LAFC. So yeah, I'm not starting a lot of guys, man. I don't want someone to pick up an injury. I honestly don't want us to just win 4-0 and stay out of this. I want us to send a signal to the league. You know what? If you're going to do that to us, we just may not put our best foot forward.
You are not a riverboat gambler.
What's going on?
Not a riverboat.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean, dude? Like, I see myself in seventh place. And as you said, it's going to be one chair for 3 teams. There's a chance, right? But it's a small chance. And it's still conditional on the fact that we have to kick some ass. Like I said, it can't be just, we just beat them 1-0. No, we got to beat them 4-0 in order for us to win in goal differential. I think that's really hard to do. Any parting words on where you're going to be tomorrow, Eric? I know that you got some big things here, and I want us to support Eric on not only what he does here for us, Section 128, but he's going to get drop some knowledge outside of our podcast. Where are you going to be?
I am, yeah. I'm not sure if the show is live or recorded yet, so I'm not going to, but I am invited to go on a pretty big MLS podcast tomorrow, and the discussion will be on.
Oh, you cannot say who it is yet. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
And it was already,
follow me on X once I got it locked down, and I know if it's going to be live or if it's pre-recorded, which I don't even know that. But it should be fun. It's going to be about Pro Rel. Always a hot thing with MLS Twitter. And basically, there's people that say Pro Rel is what's holding the league back. I really don't agree with that at all. I think that, the way we do it, sports here with playoffs and all that is just fine. So it should be.
It works for a lot of people, and it seems not to work for the guys that complain it. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at him like, okay, like I said on the last show, I rather us play these heavy metal, big bad Liga MX teams that fill up our stadium. Like, imagine if we were playing OCSC, man. Like, it's be 3,000 people. No one wants to go to the game, and I'm not even putting them on the Open Cup. It's not an Open Cup move. I just don't like the fact that there's not that many options, right? And I rather, if we're going to play games, give them big opponents that make us better. We've already heard this is a league for us to showcase our talent to the rest of the world. It's, again, it's something for Liga MX and MLS to remain together, challenging each other. It's not perfect because the format's messed up and they're tweaking it all the time. And guess what? It's probably going to change it, right? Because the calendar is going to change. So what is it going to be? Is it going to be an early preseason kind of tournament? I love it because then it just doesn't carry that much weight, right? And it prepares us for what's really important. But that means you're going to shift CCL towards the end of the year. And when you want to do that, you want to travel to the Caribbean in the middle of, horrible weather and hurricane season. So what are you going to do? So you're going to keep Leagues Cup in the middle of the year, right? When there's nothing going on. So again, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm just very curious to see what's going to happen when the calendar inverts, right? What do you do with Leagues Cup? Do you keep this format? Do you put it in a different time? And you make this sort of like an early tournament for all of us before the season begins, and then you stay with it right now, right? So again, I'm just throwing ideas out there because I feel like the concept is good. The stands are full. People are going to the games. They've addressed already the fact that the teams were not playing in Mexico. And guess what? A buttload of money and a goddamn CCL berth that we wouldn't have to worry about in the playoffs and have to go deep and do math and win supporter shield against shitty East teams. That's all matters. And that's why I carry so much about this team. But it's a showboating tournament. It's a showboating tournament, Eric. It's a showboating tournament where you have to score big, you have to show flashy, and you have to win big. It's not about managing wins. It's not that kind of thing. It is what it is. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Eric. Did you lock up?
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
so the thing is with the League's Cup, a little bit. Can you hear me? It's been kind of laggy.
You're back. You're back.
You got me? Am I good?
You're good. Let's finish up and we'll get out of here.
Good. So the thing with the League's Cup is that people say, hey, it's a money grab, and it is a money grab, but it's for the Liga MX fans that are here that never get to travel down there to see their team. So it's kind of going to be what it's going to be for the tournament. CCC is going to remain in the spring. Our schedule is going to be much better for it now. And seeing the League's Cup as kind of a preseason begin the year, or like the state tournaments in Brazil, I think it'll be a very nice warm-up tournament for us.
Very good.
And with how poorly the Liga MX teams play, if we basically have it as a preseason tournament to start, maybe it'll even itself out like that. So I think the League's Cup will.
It's crazy to give out just 3 CCL berths right off the bat.
Stadium. It is. But the thing is I think those will actually be the last CCL berths to give out, because the ones in the season will have been wrapped up in the finals, which will be in May, which means the 3 spots left will be for the tournament that's going to be starting in February. So those will actually kind of be the last chance tournament, which will add kind of another wrinkle to it. Teams that didn't get there, and the teams that already did get there, they're just going to dial it in even more and treat it as a preseason. So I think there adds good storylines, but as the tournament is right now, any tournament where 9 points does not advance you is structurally flawed. Maybe they need to go with 8 teams on each side advance or whatever, but this 4 teams,
one extra round would have fixed it all.
Yeah, it's way too clunky. They definitely will need to do something about that.
You heard it from the man. We went a little bit longer because there's so many ins and outs of this tournament. So I wanted to make sure that we explored every single way that LAFC can go through, what it means to go through. We gave Steady Eddie all the praise that he deserves. Stop talking shit about him. Find someone else to talk shit about. There's plenty of blame to go around when things don't go well. Very good turnout today. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Many of you watching it live. We have a lot more lagged listeners than live listeners, but today, surprisingly, we had a really good turnout. So thank you so much for showing up. And if you are still here, you don't subscribe, hit the subscribe button, because it helps us build something for you and keep showing.
Also, are we going to be here on Thursday after the?
We're going to be here on Thursday, sir. We have to be here on Thursday because not only we have a game to talk about, a game and a wrap-up situation, we might be going through to the next round here, which means we are one win away for potentially playing in a semifinal of this tournament. So I really hope so, right? So we can be talking about that, but at the very least, we will talk about the game itself and preview the weekend game, which is, again, back to Major League Soccer. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? How many times are we going to say that? But yes, this is going to be the final stretch, the fall that leads into the playoffs. So a lot to come here. It's still on our show. I saw a lot of weekday games, so we're going to be going 2 a week for a while here, guys. So thanks again, Eric, for doing this with me. As usual, it's a fun thing to do. And 5 o'clock on Thursday, the chat was great. Mendo, you've been awesome. You added a lot to the discussion, and that's
every week. Mendo's there every week.
So appreciate you letting us know how you feel about us. And yeah, bad, good, we don't care. Let us know. Let us know how we can do better as well.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys here in the chat right now. Wait, the type box goes away after we do this, right, Salso?
I believe so. So if you want to do it now before I end it.
I'm not going to announce this because the people that didn't catch this live, they're going to miss this. This is for the live people.
I don't even know. I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
Some people
don't say this out loud, Salso. Don't say this out loud.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, there it is.
You hear?
All right,
read that now.
Yep.
Just so you know. Tune in Thursday.
There it is. You heard the man. All right, Eric, we got out of here. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks for Fugazi for giving us their track. It's just an awesome band. Make sure you check them.